So this is the 10th card of the Halloween Oracle, and it is the Ghost card. And it talks about regret, simply regret. So my first impressions of this card is that there's a woman standing in the middle of a round room. She seems to be a little bit transparent, especially near the bottom. And she's a little bit of a light coming over her head at the top there. Her eyes are whited out, which could just symbolize that she's dead. It could also mean that she's blinded or she can't see what's in front of her. The woman energy, like lunar energy, feminine energy, intuition, emotions, being empathetic and possibly nurturing. Not all women, but kind of the energy that you typically associate with women. Light is sort of like enlightenment, purity, insight, knowledge. And then ghosts themselves sort of make me think of something that's trapped or unfinished business. They're uneasy or tortured, and they're unable to rest or see the light. It kind of makes me think, ghosts make me think right off the bat is I have one of my first memories is me in my crib. So I don't know how old I was, but I was in a crib. And somebody came in the door, which I thought was my dad, and as they walked to the far wall, they changed into my uncle. And as they got at the far wall, it started to change shapes and colors and all the rest of it. And I remember yelling for my mom and then telling her what just happened. And she said I was just seeing things, but I remember standing up that whole time it was happening. So it was kind of weird. I don't know what the hell that was going on. And then a little bit, when I was a little bit older and I had my own big girl bed with a canopy and all that kind of type of shit on it. I was still going for naps. I think I was in preschool at this point. So I would come home from preschool and have a nap. And I don't know if you've ever seen, not the Disney Pinocchio, there's another older cartoon of Pinocchio, and there's like this little blue woman that was part of it. Anyways, I saw something look very similar like that in the curtains, and it was daylight, it was the afternoon. I've seen other things as kids too, but those are like the ones that I like instantly thought ghosts when I was a kid. Maybe I had an overactive imagination, I don't know, but that's what I typically thought I saw. It also sort of reminds me just like the look on her face. There's these pictures in an old pub in Glasgow that were apparently of some sort of relatives of mine, and they haunted that pub. Anyways, they had faces that looked very similar to this face. Maybe it's just the darkness and the muted colors that makes me think of that. I don't know, because they're older photos. So it could mean you might need to check your environment for supernatural activity, possibly, but maybe not. But probably more than likely with the regret underneath the ghost. It's probably more about learning to let go and letting go of your attachment to things. Check your emotions and your empathy for any unfinished business or attachments that may be blinding you from seeing some sort of insight or truth. What old and or negative energies are you fostering around yourself? And then there's of course that quote. I'm not exactly sure who said it or not exactly how it goes, but it's something about regret is holding on to the hope that you can change your past. And of course you can't change your past. What's done is done. And you have to let go of that hope. You have to let go of that hope that you can change the past, that the past could have been any other way. It's done, move on. Anyways, let's see what the book has to say. So this is for Ghost and Regrets, and the small little poem is, like smoke rising from the ashes, a mist from the sea. The dead they are watching, they have come to haunt me. The traditional definition of a ghost is the apparition of the spirit or soul of a formerly living being. Ghosts can be both in human form or animal, and even occasionally inanimate objects such as ghostly ships have been reported. The belief in spirits and ghosts is extremely widespread across time and cultures, and different words such as spiritus, wraith, phantom, and shade have been used to refer to them. Ghosts can be both people that we have known, ancestors for example, who visit to assist us, or presences that are bound to a particular place because they have found it difficult to let go, even after death. The concept of the haunted house or the cursed place is the basis for many a creepy ghost story. In fact, the most interesting ghost stories often involve a very angry or destructive spirit coming back to wreak its revenge after death. The Old Norse word for ghost has a similar root word as the word fury. It is said that the spirits that cannot let go of this world have a reason for this. Sometimes it's to warn the living, to guide them, but generally it's because they haven't finished their business here on this plane of the living. They have regrets that they wish to resolve. Should the ghost come gliding into your life during divination, it may indicate that you have some regrets to let go of. Holding grudges or regrets is burdensome work, and it weighs us down eventually. By taking actions to free ourselves of these old burdens, we clear the way for more rightful and wise action for the future. We can begin to live again fully if we let go of what was and step into new possibilities. So something new, tidbit of information I learned from this is the Old Norse word for ghost has the same root word as fury. So that's kind of interesting. But I think this ghost card with regrets and whatnot sort of ties into the forgiveness card. I know this book is done by alphabetical order, but I think these two cards kind of tie in together a little bit, so that's works that they're on this book and open up together. But I also like this, by taking actions to free ourselves of these old burdens, we clear the way for more rightful and wise actions for the future.